Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Tonight's featured interview is the health insurance helper, Larry Blackmon. Can you, your family, your trucking business find affordable health care coverage? Bring your questions and buckle in. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey, welcome back again, Auto Transport Intel, everybody. I'm Jay. I'm your host and founder of Auto Transport Intel, and I'm happy to say it's Tuesday night again, and we're live. Bring that mic down just a hair. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see the video okay, how the stream is doing. By the way, got some thunderstorm action happening outside. I'm near Kansas City. It's no secret that, if you're anywhere near this area, there's a little bit of tornado, thunderstorm activity happening. I think I'm okay where I'm at, but, anything's possible. I think it was Friday night. The tornado sirens went off. It was crazy. So, and in fact, I've got in industry news, I've got an image, I guess in Ohio, there were some really gusty wind problems, and we got a mic check. I don't have any text messages coming in. I think we're okay. So anyways, listen, really appreciate you guys coming back again every Tuesday night. It means a lot to me. And I see folks happening in the chat. So let me just give you the rundown. Listen, if this is your first time here, I want you to feel welcome enough to ask questions, participate in the live chat. It's a big part of the show, and we got a pretty family-friendly audience that's willing to help out, answer your questions. And then here in a couple minutes, I'm going to go into the live chat. I'm going to say hello because it is a big part of the show. You guys know that. We also do industry news at about 20 minutes into the show. I know it's a long time to spend in the chat, but it sparks ideas and conversation. Industry news is a continuation of that. It's memes and news and stuff that I see on Facebook, mainly on Facebook. I'm on Facebook all day long. Here's a statistic I saw today. The average Facebook user spends 30 minutes a day on Facebook. I think for me it's more than that. And John Griffo too. Our interview tonight is Larry Blackmon. He is the health insurance helper, and he's branded himself as such across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and he's going to be live with us tonight. Maybe you've seen him live on Facebook. He also does Tango Tuesdays live, and he's going to talk to us more about that. And then we'll open up the discussion panel into the health insurance helper panel discussion. We're going to have Larry's guest, Ben of Hogan Transport, and of course, our friend Ty of CTS Business Coaching is also going to be with us. It's going to be great. So you're going to want to stick around for that. That's going to happen we got the interview in about 25 minutes. And the live panel in about 55 minutes thereabouts. But for now, I'm going to go back into the live chat. I'm going to say hello. So I'm going to rewind back to the beginning. You may be ahead of me, but go ahead and follow along in your books. I think they say that in a classroom somewhere. School's out, by the way. Since we're live, it really is May 28th. It's 8:05 Central Time. And I'm really happy that you're here with me now. So Please do say hello if you get the chance. Hey, Jay, it's Marcus from Exclusive Luxury Transport in Las Vegas saying what's up to you and everybody on the show tonight. Well, welcome back to the show. Marcus from Exclusive Luxury Transport in Las Vegas. Really appreciate you joining the show again. The one and only's with us. Hey, what's up, the one and only part of the core? You keep coming back for more. I really appreciate that. Matt from Anytime Towing Vermont. Good evening, fellow haulers. He's in Indy. Flying J, waiting for IAA bright and early. All right. Well, don't get there too early. But and I hope you've got your buyer numbers and lot numbers and everything in order. And I agree. You want to get there early. Get in there. Get out of there. You don't want to be waiting around at a salvage auction. Bill from Bad Apples. What's up? Says Bill. What's going on? Welcome back to the show. Penny is with us. Penny from Evil Sizer. And let me take this opportunity to thank my channel sponsors, Penny from Evil Sizer and Associates. Penny was on the show a couple weeks ago. I've also got an interview that I did with her live at Matt's, the Mid-America Truck Show in March. So if you want to learn more about Evil Sizer and Associates, I encourage you to do so. If you are filing for a new motor carrier authority or broker authority, or you're looking for some good guidelines on your first DOT audit, check out Evil Sizer and Associates at evilsizer.com. Tons of great information and a really nice company to boot. So check that out. I also want to thank PFA Transportation Insurance and Surety Services. Friends of the show, really appreciate the staff and the information. If you have a question, what's a BMC 84 surety bond or a BMC 85 trust agreement? This is broker stuff. It's very important stuff. You need to know it. If you have any broker questions, brokering of any freight of any type of cargo, whether it's contingency cargo questions or just brokering in general, you want to visit pfaprotects.com because PFA protects. It's what you need when you need it. Really appreciate you guys. Ty says, is this where I find health insurance? Yes, it is, Ty. You'll be in the panel, and appreciate you joining the show. Thought it was a load board. That's pretty interesting. Well, you know what? We all want a better load board, don't we? No wonder you thought it was a load board. There's a lot of water in the area. Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, Larry is with us. Larry Blackmon, the health insurance helper himself. He's with us. Thanks for joining the show, Larry. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to shut the show off when I invite you to the meeting here in about 20 minutes. Everybody else, don't shut the show off, everybody else. All right. Hey, what's up, Jay? Hello. Tim, LRT Transport, says hello. Appreciate it, Tim. Best insurance a truck driver can have is a well-used gym membership. That's a good point. Very good. I've seen guys where you've seen pictures of guys working out at the truck stops. It's pretty cool. So yeah, and a busy day on the phone. Yes, it is a busy day on the phone for Ty at CTS Business Coaching. And it gets, you know what, should we do? Well, we'll do that. We got the CTS Business Coaching question of the day coming up shortly. But for now, I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and jump into the industry news. Oh, and She Trucking. Hey, what's going on? By the way, here's what we're going to do. So, Ty, here's what we're going to do. Ty, stick around for me. I wasn't sure if... Well, here's the thing. Do this. Somebody let me know if Tamara is in for the live panel. Larry, if you can double check on that and let me know, you can send me an email. I'll check my email before I send you an email so I know what's going on. Oh, when you hit the like button, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Since we're here, actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and do that. And so, if in case you don't already know it, there it is. That is tonight's thumbnail. The video. This is the video thumbnail for tonight's show. The health insurance helper, Larry Blackmon. So if you see that on YouTube, tell your friends. Be sure to click it. Tell your friends and be sure to click it. Okay. Sometimes my goal is to make myself laugh to see if it's possible, and it just happened. I just made myself laugh because It was probably somewhat ridiculous. Okay, and I enjoy a romantic walk. This is ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, I like to get those memes that really are trucking centric, right? Trucking centric memes. This one's trucking centric. I suppose there are other lines of work where you enjoy romantic walks to the taco truck, but I know trucking is definitely one of those industries. Speaking of, I saw this, and I'm not really sure if, I don't know. I'm not sure if is that real? 900,000 truck drivers could lose jobs to autonomous trucks. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm into shock and awe, but I don't know. That's it's a little over the top. Is this a headline? Did somebody come back from the future? Have you guys seen Deadpool 2, where Josh Brolin's character comes back from the future? I don't even know why I pointed that out. I was watching Deadpool, man. That's hilarious. But maybe a movie to rent while you're hanging at the truck stop waiting for the storm to blow over. Nobody rents movies anymore. That's a thing from the past, and this is from the future. I don't know if 900,000 truck drivers are going to lose their jobs. I'm just not sure. Here's another question. I was wondering if those guys pulling Amazon trailers are making any money. You think? It's a good question. Did you guys see that Jeff Bezos is handing out 10 grand if you quit? I guess if you're an Amazon employee and you take the 10 grand and you quit and start up an Amazon delivery business. Thank you for joining the show, DW Forgy. I do appreciate it. I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy times, dude. Okay, yeah, here it is. Semis toppled at Ohio truck stop as tornadoes tear through the state. That's crazy, man. Why does California charge so much to park everywhere, but will let you pitch a tent anywhere? It's an interesting question. Have you guys seen the tents? Listen, yes, she's available. Okay, all right, cool. Well, Tamara, you're gonna get an email invite at around 9 o'clock, and then you're gonna be on the show. So just keep watching the show, or if that's Tamara. Anyways, Tamara's gonna get an email. Got to make sure I have that email address handy. I should. Let me just double check that right now. And so then, yeah, I'll be emailing Tamara. That's great. That's awesome. That's great news. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, cool. All right. That's excellent. Tamara is available. Perfect. You know, it's a live show, so one of the things I know from doing live shows, and I know I've see, I could cough on camera. Oh, I just changed the graphic. Well, it's live. Anything can happen. Jay, are you losing control? Nah, not really. I'm just checking to make sure I've got Tamara's email address. I have it. Speaking of more news, House bill would it'll boost fuel taxes to try to drum up infrastructure funding. Now, did you guys see how, okay, there was somebody posted this, I think it was on last week's show. Yeah, isn't that where toll money's supposed to go? You're going to create a new, okay. All right, is draining the swamp working? I guess that's my question. Are we draining the swamp? Because, I don't know. Did you guys see Elaine, wasn't it Elaine Chao? She made the news of some kind of, I didn't spread it because I couldn't verify it. I don't know. And then, you're in the middle of saying something important at a Memorial Day barbecue, and then you can't get past whatever you were thinking because you're staring at the mud flaps, and it's not a truck, it's guys' legs. It's pretty funny. Okay. All right. I'm just taking you through the stream of consciousness here. Industry waking up to trucking's parking problem. You think? Really? They had to put that on the cover of a magazine for you to pay attention? Okay, good. How about that? Does that get your attention? I think that'll get your attention. Yeah, you don't want to see that. So, which reminds me of this. Oh yeah, speaking of, have you seen this version of that? What is going on here? Now, is that a substance test? That's very interesting. That's getting real. I'm not sure what level inspection that is, but I'm definitely thinking that's bad. Okay, here's a rant. Kansas Way Station, mile marker 1. And I shared the guy that posted it because you know what? If I posted this rant, I would want it known that I posted it too. And let's get that out of your way. Oops. Okay, that wasn't what I had in mind. There we go. Okay. In 10 years, maybe 10 to 15 inspections, these guys have been responsible for 4 out of the 10 to 15. Okay, I do. Glad to hear that. I just got a notification that Kimberly's home safe, and that's important because here in Kansas City we're having some storm action. So good, Kimberly. I'm glad you're home. Every time they ding you for this stuff, and they can't find any real defects, I'll take the not having blank logs as ELD backup because I knew better and forgot to replace the ones I used because I wanted to get fancy and order the custom ones with company names, etc. Now, the inoperable ABS lamp on the UPS trailer, I think it's kind of BS. It worked, but not when the key was cycled. CSA scores take another hit for silly stuff. Twice in a week, last week, I know people will doubt this, but my license plate fell from where it was stuck in the window because it got too hot. It can happen. 5 minutes later, Bear pulls me over for a plate not being visible. He clearly saw my story checked out, but still gave me a warning. Oh, but they say, you keep a clean truck, a lot of good that does. Rant over. So, you know, I've heard, this is not the first time I've heard on the Kansas side and on the Missouri side that both of these states, near Kansas City, it gets pretty rough. It's what I've heard. Although Kansas mile marker 1, wouldn't that be just north of Oklahoma? I think so. Let me know what you think. Did you guys turn a profit in the last 10 days? Now that is a good question. And unfortunately, if you're asking that question, that's going to be a problem if you're asking that question, right? I mean, of yourself. But this is a reflection of what's going on with the rates right now. And I know in freight, car hauling follows freight. I'm pretty sure there's truth to this. And in the freight world, at least once a day, I see a driver just really at odds with trying to figure out how to get a better rate. But again, that's booking off the load boards, right? And we say this, if you are eating off the load boards, you're taking a risk. You got to get some customers, form some customer relationships. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, John is with us. Did I just get bumped off the panel, says Ty? I think so, Ty. I think you might have. Even though I announced it. Ah, great. Stan says, Stan's here too. Where's my shout out? Well, hey, what's up, Stan? Shout out, Stan Rettel. Right on. Say hello. Tamara's with us. Stan is with us. Toe Piglet. No, I didn't. Oopsie. Toe Piglet. What else we got here? I don't think Toe Piglet asks if he turned a profit in the last 10 days. Again, I'm not bagging on anybody, but if you are asking that question, and then you do not want to go into day 11 with that kind of question. Rusty Man says hello. Hey, what's up, Rusty? How you doing? Thanks for the wave. Thanks for the like and the share. Rusty's thinking, but I didn't like it yet. Really? What is this? It's kind of like I don't know. I guess you could do that, right? Will you pass DOT inspection with that? Yeah, let's see. Your door's on the wrong side. That's, we're going to have to write you up for 49 CFR 371.1AB. Whatever. Okay. Pretty close. Pretty close. Today I got a quote for a 7-car hauler truck insurance, $3,000 for a 1-truck, million liability, 176 physical damage, 250K cargo. How much you paying for your 7-car hauler insurance, and which insurance company are you using for it? I saw someone else posted how they got kicked out of Progressive, I think today. Was it Progressive? That's something you hear a lot, unfortunately. I'm just saying. That's hearsay. It was an opinion based on probably a fact. By the way, how's that working out for you? I'm just asking. Somebody else asked it. They posted it. And so I'm asking the question. It looks a little tall to me. But, and those FJ Cruisers, man, you got to watch those things. They're a little bit on the high side. Also saw on Facebook today a question of whether the aerodynamics were any good on Jeeps. It's an interesting question. Oh, speaking of insurance, this just boggles my mind. How many times do we see this? You can't see it, can you? I guess I gotta. All right, here. Since we're live, I can do this. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. Is that better? That's all right, I guess. See, now that one looks too big. Let's go ahead and do this. This is the benefit of being the switcher guy, is I can work it into the content. Boggles my mind. How many times do we see this? I just bought my $70,000 truck, my $30,000 trailer, and then they ask, where do I get my loads? Who should I use for insurance? What is wrong with these people, says David. It's funny. It is funny, and it's true, and I'm not trying to laugh at anybody. I'm really not. But this is not a good business strategy. Truck, check. Trailer, check. What else? it's just saying. If you have that problem, you need ctsbusinesscoaching.com. Go to ctsbusinesscoaching.com. We'll fix you up. At least get you headed in the right direction. DJ Smith says, hey, here's where all that cheap freight goes everyone's talking about. You get what you pay for. Wonder if the produce insurance will cover a Range Rover. Look at that thing. What is going on? Oh, the ramp fell over. Oh, man. Dude. Yeah. This is why you don't post a relatively new Range Rover for 40 cents a mile. Don't do it, man. Not a good idea. You get what you pay for. That's one happy customer right there. Boy, howdy. First time shipper says, all right, hey, Jay, and I got the permission of the shipper on this one. Hey, Jay, I'm not sure if this is the correct usage of this email address. I recently discovered your YouTube channel and website after hours of research on vehicle shipping. However, I seem to be stuck on answering the important questions I still have, possibly due how overwhelming the industry is for first-time car shipping. Absolutely. I was just writing about this. Man, it's crazy. I feel like I've gotten a grasp on the realistic expectations of car hauling, and I accept them. Thank you. You know what? I appreciate that. My situation is that I'm trying to purchase a vehicle using online auction sites where the listings are nationwide, and each seller has time frames on when the vehicle needs to be picked up, usually 10 days. Okay. If I do end up winning a vehicle, I would need to, of course, have it shipped. And with the thousands of auto transport companies available and negativity surrounding all of them, wow, ouch. How exactly would I know which one of them to trust? How do I know that I or the carrier are not getting screwed on the deal? Is there any real way to be assured about who you're working with, or is it really just luck of the draw? There are so many questions that I have about choosing the right company, and I know there isn't just one solid answer, but there has to be a way to narrow it down. If by any chance you'd be willing to give me some advice or help me out in any way possible, it would be tremendously appreciated. Well, and I just got this. I think that's Sunday or Saturday night. And you want to say something? This is interesting. You guys can see this email. It's over the weekends that I hear mostly from first-time car shippers. It's been a weekend almost every time. Which means that first-time car shippers, they don't have time during the week to look for car shipping. So that means by the time they get around to it, they really are looking. They really need somebody to help. And as I was talking about recently, if you Google car shipping, I mean, you're not even looking at, it's very few are actually carriers. Some of them are brokers. But most of it is either lead generators or companies that have created a blog post and are just trying to get your attention. It's all over the place. So to be a first-time car shipper is actually, it's not something that you want. Here, let me go to the main screen here. So if you're a first-time car shipper and you're looking for help, you're looking for advice, yes, I'm happy to help, give you advice, and give you answers. And my goal is that if I can help you get connected to either a carrier or a broker that I know and trust, then hopefully hopefully you're not already in a situation where you just need help and you're trying to get out of it. If your phone's already ringing off the hook, it might be too late. But if you're brand new looking to ship a car, and I know what are the chances you're going to see this section of video on this live show? Very small. But if you know somebody that is trying to ship a car and needs help, send them to Auto Transport Intel. What I ended up doing for first time shipper is I do know a broker that I trust. If you watch the show enough, you probably know who it is. And I emailed him, and I emailed first time shipper back, and I'm putting them in touch, and I think they're going to be in touch tomorrow. And that way it's one person that you can talk to, and I actually think about where you are and what you're looking for to who I recommend. So if you're a broker, you might want to get in on this deal and become a part of Auto Transport Intel so that I can help you get connected to first-time shippers. If you're a carrier, I recommend the same thing, because it's even harder for a carrier that doesn't have a brokering relationship. By the way, PFA Insurance says if you are, and I'm going to put that graphic back up, if you are a carrier and you're brokering loads, PFA says get a brokering license to be legally compliant and consider setting up a separate business entity for brokering so that you are, in fact, we saw this recently, a carrier got dumped by their insurance company, or at least heavily questioned, because the insurance company didn't know they were also brokering, which is also known as interlining, and that is definitely in 49 CFR 395 dot something, pretty sure. Point is, if you're looking for shippers, let me know. Contact Auto Transport Intel. And if you're a shipper looking for a carrier, let me know. Contact Auto Transport Intel. What's the best way to do that? autotransportintel@gmail.com. I got a pretty good hunch that if you're here with me right now, you already know my email address and you already know these things. But feel free to tell somebody. Jay, what about college kids needing a car hauler? I would say the same thing, Penny. Is there some place we can refer them to? Yeah, refer them to Auto Transport Intel. Because what I'm learning is if I recommend a specific broker or carrier on the show, there are chances that that relationship could go awry and, for given some kind of, weird situation. So really, contact me. Tell them to go to autotransportintel.com. Tell them to go to Auto Transport Intel on Facebook. That's actually a better idea. That's where people can read the about. They can read recommendations and reviews. And, everybody's on Facebook. So that's what I would do. Send them to Auto Transport Intel on Facebook. By the way, Toe Piglet says I'm wrong. Hey, man, thanks for the... I'll tell you what. I'll take a super chat of $5 to answer the question. Jay, you are wrong. Load boards are awesome. If any load boards would like to sponsor me, please send me an email. Ha ha. So this is funny. Is that it just so happens that... And by the way, I have a load board deal on the table. I believe that I'm going to get a sponsorship by a new load board. But we'll see what happens with that. The thing is that load boards as a business concept are fine. But the load boards in car hauling as they exist today are not fine, actually. The number one load board is so old technologically that you may as well just be using a beeper. In freight, Toe Piglet, you're in freight. DAT is amazing. We don't have anything like DAT. DAT is so amazing that you can get statistics and industry analytics of where you are in the country, of what freight you're considering. We have nothing like that, okay? And then Internet Truck Stop is still way better than any load board we have in car hauling. Car haulers, are you with me? To prove me wrong. I'll tell you what, super chat me even more money and tell me that I'm wrong. Really. Again, and I know this because I was a dispatcher and I thought that what you did is sit in front of a computer, find loads on load boards, and I thought that was a business model. Well, I come to find out it's a business model, but I'm not sure if it's the best business model. So, warning, if you have a flatbed, do not come anywhere near Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana. Rates are brutal. There you go. There's your load board love. Load board love. Do, 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 do. Okay, do, do. That's awesome. Load board love. Somebody, we got to do some karaoke. That'll be the after show. We're going to do load board love karaoke. Hey, by the way, GNR Auto Transport. Oh, what segment is this? It's Tuesday Nights Live, Industry News. Oh, man, it seems a little low. Here, let's move that up. You know why? Because I can do that, because I'm the switcher. GNR Auto Transport out of South Carolina has a phone number. Listen, he's looking for a driver. In fact, I think we can, really, as we grow, we're going to be helping more and more companies that are looking for drivers. I do believe that. But listen, can you give me the dollar amount for your health? No. So why are you without health coverage? That's what we're asking you. That, in fact, is the CTS Business Coaching question of the day. Are you without health coverage? Because, I mean, really? I know, it's tough. It's tough. You know, healthcare coverage rates are tough. They keep going up month after month. But are you without healthcare coverage? Because you know that if you are in trucking, auto transport, car hauling, transportation, this is a rough business. And your family needs you to be protected. They need to be protected. You need to be protected. So we're going to come back after the break. We're going to talk to Larry, the health insurance helper. I hope you'll stick around. We'll talk soon. Hey guys, Jay at Auto Transport Intel. Do you need to file your new authority? Motor carrier authority, broker authority. It's a lot of paperwork with the FMCSA and the USDOT. Get it done right the first time. Let Evil Sizer and Associates help you. They're a full service authority company. Go to evilsizer.co, evilsizer.com. They are the interstate trucking specialists. Just go to the website, scroll down, get your own authority. Click on File for Motor Carrier Authority or File for Broker Authority. Takes you through the package. Enter your information. It's not that hard. In fact, ATI 25. Enter coupon code ATI 25 to get $25 off. Okay? And also, after you file your authority, you're going to need your BOC3. Do you know about your BOC3? Don't mess around with the paperwork. Visit Evil Sizer and Associates today, and don't forget your coupon code ATI25 to save $25 off when you file your authority. Thanks a lot. I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel, and I hope this helps you. All right, cool. So, hey, here's what I got to do. Hang on 1 second, Larry. I've got to change this camera here. Forgot to do that because we're live, so you know anything can happen. Alright, so then, okay, so now I go here. Okay, okay, there we go. Okay, so now, there we go. Okay, and there we go. Now people can hear you too. Okay, cool. So I can see you, I can hear you. Mic check.
Mic check.
Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, good. We're looking good here, and then let's do this. So, Larry, I officially welcome you. Thank you for joining me tonight on Auto Transport Intel.
Yes, sir.
You are Larry. You are the health insurance helper.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I'm Larry Blackmon.
Larry Blackmon. And you you branded yourself health insurance helper.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because a lot of times, I'm not there. My sole purpose is all about educating people, because a lot of the men and women out there, they just assume that all coverage are the same, and that's far in between. Because it's like I told one of the drivers, I said, there's a big difference between a Volvo, a Peterbilt, an International, but each one of them have their own way of doing certain jobs. To say that all trucks are the same is ridiculous. Same go for the health insurance.
Yeah, no, that's a good analogy. And that's the thing is that, even as I was talking about it,
Right.
leading into the show. I know that. I mean, it's all over the place
Oh, absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
individuals, for businesses. I mean, given your age and what you do,
Right.
and I mean, I don't even the formula to determine one's rate must be pretty interesting.
Absolutely. It's very yeah, you have to, on certain plans, yeah, your age, height, and weight, and so forth, especially when you're dealing with on the private sector, but not so much on the traditional group plan. Uh, that that doesn't really play a big factor, so to speak. But if you're going out there like the many of the owner operators you see out here, yeah, that plays a big factor. But like someone today mentioned that they were, you know, they just paid for. I don't know. They were referring to auto, but the question was, "Hey, I just paid. I just left one carrier to go to another carrier, and now the old carrier is telling me I owe them money."
Oh wow.
So, so I just replied, I said, look, as a insurance agent, it worked this way, and it may vary in different states. Long as you give them 10 days notice that, hey, in 10 days, the end of the month, I'm going to no longer want your coverage, you're fine. Um, and so there's no lapse in coverage. So I don't know what's the deal with that, but yeah, it was kind of strange. Like that agent who sold him that policy. I don't know. The biggest thing when people go online and they assume they know health insurance or any form of insurance, they go online, they look for the price, and that's what I put in that comment on Facebook. Make sure, I said, well, your new provider or agent should have explained that to you. But more importantly, let's not be blinded by the price. Make sure you have equal or greater coverage. So
Hmm.
that's just that, you know.
Um, there's so many directions to go, and I was thinking, you were at Matt's
Yeah, yeah,
and the Mid America Truck Show, and that was in
right,
March, and that was in Louisville. You were walking around, you were talking to people. You talk to people, and advise them. So you see people in person, they contact you over the phone. You go
right,
live on Facebook every Tuesday with Tango Tuesdays.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
No,
I'm
no, go
just
ahead.
so you're really in touch with people. What's the feedback? Do do people have health insurance? Do people not? Tell me more.
No, a large majority. Well, a large majority, I would say, does do not.
Yeah, that's what I was
A
thinking.
large majority do not. And Jay, a lot of the what cracked me up is this. A lot of them would say this: "I'm totally healthy,"
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
don't you? The strange part about that is, don't you have to get your truck service?
Oh yeah. Exactly. It,
So when the last time you got service? Get that yearly exam, thoroughly exam.
aren't they
So
really saying it's too expensive?
pretty much, absolutely. It but they base that on one price excuse me, that they probably perhaps seen online, or someone may have quote them a very expensive um, plan. So they pretty much make the assumption that all health insurance are the same, or the sad part is they may assume that only thing I need is a catastrophic, you know,
Mm.
a
Right. Well,
catastrophic.
there's the backup plan. If the
Yeah,
right, like I know, right. So you just same thing with auto liability. In fact,
right,
I know when it comes to auto liability, well, not auto liability. What I mean is
right.
cargo. So with cargo insurance for drivers,
Okay,
you get the minimum. You always get the minimum you need. Isn't that what we
Correct.
do for ourselves?
We always do.
So
We always.
we get the high deductible,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the
Yeah.
lowest
Yeah. The
and the
low
lowest
monthly
rate.
premium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
And
is
it's
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, and it's
Yeah.
still high. That's the thing
Yeah.
is, that's what I've got and it's still high. I mean, and it
Yeah.
goes up every year.
Yeah. Absolutely. The thing is, like I said in the beginning, I try to educate everyone when I first an initial contact. It's not about the sale because it's about the education first, and because the people have to trust you. Secondly, the sale is a third and last and most important thing in my book. But with that said, um, I rather I rather you know I have to do a needs and analysis. And once I do that needs and analysis, I can determine what plan pretty much suit them. I asked them for their budget. And I said, be realistic. A lot of people want to save $100. You know, those
Right?
are the good old days.
Yeah, I know.
But I said, just be realistic. What's your wheelhouse? I mean, come on. And they'll tell me, and I do my very best. The thing is, I will always build for coverage instead of price. A good analogy is this: you know, people may purchase a house that, let's say, is $300,000 or $400,000. Okay, but that home insurance is about $200,000 because if they purchase the max value, well, that's a little bit too much. So,
Hmm.
and
You this got to be a tough uh you being because you're a health insurance advisor
mhm.
representative. It sounds tough,
Yeah, it
but
is.
it seems like you there's something about the way that you are approaching this that I think you're helping people, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, because you know what? There are certain, granted, there are certain people, uh, they're on the very tight budget.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is work within that budget. If I can't help them, I will go I if I can't do it, I work with another broker
Right.
who they may have something. I refer them to those men and women that I work with.
Uh
So I will always find a way to help my clients, even though they may not be on the books as my clients, but I'm going to help them one way
yeah.
or another.
Yeah, well, and that's that because you're really, I mean, you are putting yourself out there again. Tango Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Let's do. And while I'm doing that, if you'll answer Penny's question, Penny says, "Do
Hmm.
you assist small businesses that are not truckers?"
Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Um, I could do that. That is no problem. As long as the group are, uh, under 49 employees, I'd be more than happy to help you out. But I love working with those ones who are like 10 employees or less because a lot of the owners always assume that they cannot afford that big, massive of health insurance. And once they sit down with me, it's amazing how things work out. So,
Well, and that's actually good to hear because I know that many small business owners
right,
they end up in a situation where now they're looking. They've
correct.
started a small business and they not only need health insurance for themselves, but they have employees. They don't want
Hmm.
to, they know they can't ride the line of independent contractor anymore. I mean, these are employees.
Right.
And then now you have to talk to somebody. You really need some good advice.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jay? Here's what I found interesting at Max, even more this year than it was years before. Uh, a lot of the owner ops, you know, they don't realize they are a they're independent. They are 1099. They are a LLC, and they can write their health coverage off.
I learned this one time talking to a tax professional.
Right.
It's not about, when it comes to taxes, it's not about making more money. It's about saving on your taxes.
Absolutely.
Which it kind of is the same thing, but it depends on. You just have to look at it. You have to be smart when you do your taxes. Everything, write off everything you can.
Absolutely.
And luckily, I heard this. This is a rumor. The burden of proof is on the IRS, not on the taxpayer.
Correct.
So even if you don't, if you have some kind of you bought something for work, it was $1,000, and you don't have a receipt, all you got to do is take a piece of paper and write $1,000, May 28th,
right,
talking to Larry, business, and you
right.
and that IRS has to prove that that's not true.
Yep.
That is a so this stuff is helpful. Hey, by the way, so Penny says now, Penny, by the way, Penny is the owner of Evil Sizer and Associates.
Yes, I met Penny at Matt's.
That's what she just said, that you guys met at Matt's. She wants to talk to you. She says she's going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area this week.
Okay.
And the next week, and would love to chat with you. Now, are you Dallas or Houston?
I know, I'm in Fort Worth.
You are in Fort Worth. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
You guys are in the same area.
You know the strange thing about that? We were at Matt's, and I think I was talking to you at Matt's at the time. Okay. And then Penny overheard.
Yeah, we were right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, my office is in Hearst. And she was like, wait a minute, I went to LD Bell in Bedford. So it was like instant connection. I mean,
it's awesome.
Matt's was incredible this year because it's just when I don't know, it was just connecting with people all of a sudden. And it's like you had so much going on, and I was like, man, this is one of the best Matt's.
I agree. I had a great show being there, and I'll tell you, for me, being in a booth with Shaggy's Consulting and Training, go ahead and give my shout out to Shaggy. Yeah. Shaggy's Consulting and Training Group. Being in the booth there was really great. I had a home base, but half the time I was out and about doing interviews. It was a great show. Matt's is a great show.
Yeah.
And so if you're out there, if you just tuned in and you don't know what we're talking about, but we are talking about health insurance, but Matt's, the Mid-America Truck Show, you just need to Google, I think it's truckingshow.com.
I think so.
Or just Google Matt's 2019, Matt's 2020 Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. That is a great show. And,
absolutely.
And I mean, if there's any way to schedule your route so you're in Louisville during that time, and I think it's always in March, that's a great show. So
that
better
than it was the year before with the snow.
I'm glad I missed that one.
Yeah, because last year we left Fort Worth. It was like 78, 79 degrees. Got up there below 30, and I'm thinking,
oh man,
this is not what I wanted.
was there a lot of snow on the ground at that time?
You know, they did a great job. Yeah, it was a lot of snow. It was a lot of snow, but about time we set up and everything, registered, set up our booth, came back out. The next day, you never knew.
That's awesome. We had some rain right there when everybody was packing up on the last day. It started to rain and get kind of crazy. But otherwise, the weather was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was a great show. All right, let's do this. Let's see here. We're talking about drivers going without health insurance. Here's a question. If companies offered health insurance to the drivers, do you think they would take it?
50-50, I would say.
Really?
50-50. Yeah, 50-50. Because you go back to that old fallback. Well, that's a waste of money and never go to the doctor. Only time if I do go to the doctor is if I have a cold and blah, blah, blah. But what they fail to understand, I mean, here's what people fail to understand. It's not about you. It's not about you. I don't care. They say, well, I'm not married. Well, if you have a sibling or your parents still alive, or if you have an offspring, it's not about you. Because if something happens to you, okay, someone need to take care of you, especially if you have a catastrophic event or a major accident. Um, I always tell everyone it's not about you. Um, it haven't. I mean, long as you have loved ones in your life, it's not about you. Because if something happened, last time I checked, GoFundMe is not a form of health insurance. So why would you put that burden on your loved ones? Because you know you could afford it, but you decide to go without it just to pocket it. So I would say it honestly, I would say 50-50 because it all depends on, well, I take that back, 75-25. Let me be realistic, about 75-25, because some of the drivers are looking for health coverage. Um, and then those ones who are offering it, oh, that's too much. And they could be looking at 300 for individual, 350 or $400 a month, and that's nothing. It may seem like a lot, but that's nothing. You know, about 350 is kind of the average on a traditional group plan. But that's nothing because they, if they step out of their, I always use this analogy, you know, if you step out of your cab, because let's face it, people in this industry, you are always in different weather climate. I mean, you mentioned earlier you guys are having some major tornadoes and
Yeah,
so forth.
right.
So you stepping out of your cab, it's wet, it's raining, and then next thing you know, you slip, you injure. I mean, next thing you have an ACL injury. You decide to go without. An average, the minimum of an ACL injury is $45,000. So, and you're paying less than that, maybe about 5 to 8,000 a year, and that could take care of a high percent of that ACL injury. Okay,
Even if you have a high deductible, yeah, it's still
yeah,
nothing compared to what you're going to be out of pocket.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, you haven't, and I go back to the catastrophic plan because that's one of the things everybody always use. All I need is a catastrophic plan. Yeah, you can buy a catastrophic plan. That's no problem. But what happens if you have a gallbladder surgery? It's for catastrophic. Is gallbladder is not catastrophic. So what happened if you need just a minor routine surgery to remove something? Well, if it's not catastrophic, well, it's coming out of your pocket. You know, I understand people want to find ways to save money because let's face it, insurance have gone up. I mean, you look at how much things were like. I look at the rates when it was when my oldest son is 25, and I didn't pay anything when he was born,
Mm.
and so now on a marketplace plan, the average is about 10 to 14,000 for a child, and then that's an average range. And then on most company plans, you're looking between 2,500 to 3,500. So it all depends on you know what you have. So things have changed. I mean, let's face it. 2001, I think we were paying for gas was under. I think it was what maybe a dollar under. Way it was like a dollar something. And then all of a sudden it got up to $1.45, and people start freaking out. I never forget that because I was married at the time. My wife was like, "We need to go and fill up both vehicles." And I was like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. But everybody adjusted. So now gas prices are I mean, when you see 2.49 a gallon, everybody like, 2.49, that's so cheap. We came a long way. So uh,
Yeah.
I guess that's the same mindset of healthcare. People are always going to adjust. They're gonna take care of their needs, and yeah, they need to weigh the pros and cons of healthcare. But I always say this, Jay, if you know the name of your home and your auto agent, and if you don't know the name of your health insurance agent, something's wrong.
Hmm. That's a really good point. That is a good
Yeah.
point. And I'll tell you, I was just because I was going to say this is that between it seems to me that I believe it was in the 90s that
Mhm.
Hillary was working on healthcare, trying
Right.
to look at it, okay? Right?
Correct.
And then 10 years later, we get what we call, right, the beginning of Obamacare.
Correct.
And now we're in the political cycle where it's all about repealing
Right.
Obamacare.
Right.
And so through the decades, healthcare has really been up there as far as major topics,
Yep.
and it's no fun to talk about. And
No.
now tax deductions are creeping back up to the list of topics.
Yeah.
Uh, so I agree with what you say. It's kind of, I say, you want to have a good tax professional that you can talk to.
Correct.
You want to know the name of somebody. You want to know somebody you can contact.
Right.
I think that also goes in the legal profession.
Correct.
Same in the medical profession.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when it comes to the agents that help you if you have a coverage question, right?
Hmm.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's cool that you are somebody that people can talk to, ask questions of, get information,
Hmm.
and then possibly utilize. I think Health Insurance Helper is a really great idea, and I want to pull this up here again. Is
Okay.
that so? You every Tuesday night on
Correct.
Facebook, you have Tango Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Tango Tuesday. Um, and last April, I came up with it because I wanted to spotlight pretty much like you're doing right now, just spotlighting an individual and their business. Because let's face it, everyone always assumed that um, you know you always see on Facebook, hey, do anyone know a good a plumber? Well, I like to put people on Tango Tuesday that I solely have trust and respect for because I'm putting my name out there, and
Yeah.
I don't want to mislead anyone. But sometimes a lot of the people on there. Some have business that they have been on. I mean, that they have grown, is still growing, and then some are just starting off. But their intention of helping individual, that's the first priority. It's not a. I mean, the money is going to be there. They know that, but just putting their name out there and trying to build that positive reputation, that says everything. So yeah, Tango Tuesday. Today I didn't have it. At the last moment, someone canceled. It happens.
It does. I know it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Um, so next week we will start back up. But yeah, I love Tango Tuesday. I love helping people to grow their business. I mean, usually an individual when I do that, they get one to two form of business out of it. And everyone always asks me, "What do I get out of it?" I said, "It's the gratitude."
It's cool. I've watched some of your Tango Tuesday. I think it's Tango
Yeah,
Tuesday when you go live
yeah,
on Facebook and you've got somebody
mhm,
with you, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was scrolling through. You've done it a lot of
yeah,
those,
yeah,
and it's really interesting when you put together content and you're connecting with people and you're sharing information. I mean, we're doing it right now. So
correct.
right now we're inside of a kaleidoscope, inside of a kaleidoscope. But I mean, it's pretty cool,
Yeah,
and it's amazing that we have the ability to do that. That's
yeah,
one of the things that I like. Let me get. I had a piece of tape in the way. I I get excited about the fact that we are able to make this media, co- make this communication and connection, and do it live. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
So
just getting the word out. I mean, that's just huge, man. There's so many levels. Yeah.
it really is. So let's do this. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna bring in Ben and Tamara, add them to the live panel. I hope you'll
All
stick
right.
around. We'll see you in a second.
Okay.
Maybe the most important thing to think about is what's going to destroy you, and that is where auto liability comes in. Some may argue that the freight broker is not responsible, but we see those claims happening, and there is some reality that it's there to protect, it's there to provide defense, and it's there to pay on their behalf, and that's keeping some of them alive, keeping them in business. The other part of your question, where's a good bang for the buck? One of the things that we run into a lot is just talking about contracts. And in a future episode, we'll cover contracts and contractual requirements. But I think a lot of freight brokers are frustrated with juggling the contractual issue, but also spending a lot of time, wasted time, on little claims that maybe arise out of the cargo side, and yet some of those can become significant. So bang for the buck. A lot of our customers are talking to us about cargo. There's special coverage forms, a variety of them, and that's what we hear ourselves finding to be a critical thing that we can help them, gives them that bang for the buck that you're talking about.
All right, and welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, I'm live with Larry, the health insurance helper, and so we're back. What we're gonna do is I just sent email invites to Ben and Tamara,
Okay.
and then so they'll be joining us shortly. And while they're doing that, let's go to another question. Oh, here's Tamara.
Okay.
Let's see if she can hear us and see us okay. And she'll let us know. So we've got her in the. So hey, what's the difference between an HMO and a PPO? There's a common question.
Okay. The difference is the HMO is what the marketplace offer. The and it is limited to your home state. Um, home maintenance. Let me see. HMO, home maintenance organization. So you're limited where you can go. Uh, I always
Home
tell
maintenance
everyone
organization.
the marketplace was main. I always give the history. Like the marketplace was mainly set up for those ones who can afford it and those ones who have major pre-existing condition. It does work well with those individuals, but you know, and but the HMOs only they're only set up for, like I said, for your home state. They are limited. Your doctor may not be in network, so you may have to drive cross town to another doctor. The PPO is what many of people are accustomed to, preferred
Right.
provider organization. So that with the PPO, you go nationwide to any doctor, any hospital, and that's the big difference between those two. And
But
I try to what I do is set people up with the PPO plan.
can you? But can are the HMOs? Are they more inexpensive than a PPO? Is
With the HMO, a lot of the HMO, if you qualify, you can get government assistance with that.
right.
And yeah, it does become very affordable. But if you don't get the subsidies with it, then no.
Right, and
Uh,
qualifying for some of these, sometimes getting government assistance qualification. I mean, you have got to be
yeah,
really
yeah,
under the. I mean, it's actually pretty amazing how.
the drawback about certain HMO plans as for individuals. Um, a lot of the individuals may say, "Hey, I only make $30,000," and then you get a $5,000 raise, and then
Right.
You lose that.
Goodbye.
Yeah. you
Right.
lose
I
that.
know it is.
Yeah.
It's really interesting on some of the government side. Listen, I think now I think Ben is with us. Ben, can you hear us?
I got you.
Okay, great. And then now Tamara, I see Tamara is
There you
with
go.
us. Can you hear us, Tamara?
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
wonderful. I thought I heard a little disturbance in the signal, but it seems to be clean now. So you guys can hear us okay, Tamara and Ben?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, let's see here. Let me just say this. I'm putting some titles up on the screen here. So, in case anybody's just joining us, we've got Larry, the health insurance helper. You know, I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel. Okay, Jay. And then we've got Ben at Hogan Transport. And Tamara, you are with She Trucking. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
So I'll go ahead and I'll start with you, Tamara. Can you tell us more about She Trucking?
Okay. She Trucking is a sisterhood organization, and we are here to help the ladies transition into the trucking industry as smoothly as possible.
Okay. And are are you or were you a driver?
I
Uh,
am.
you
I
you
am currently an owner operator right now at this time.
you are. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Do you drive a dry van?
Yes, I am driving.
Uh-huh, dry van. All right, cool. And this is a car hauling show, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
One of the things that I do on Auto Transport Intel is I talk about the freight industry. Not everybody in car hauling does that. I do that because I think that freight cargo versus autos and cars, while there are some obvious differences, there are some very similar differences in the way of seasonality, marketplace, rates, the way carriers feel about brokers, etc. And obviously they fight for the same parking spots,
Sure.
which is happening more and more. So welcome to the show, Tamara. I really appreciate you tuning in tonight and being one of Larry's guests. Obviously, you know Larry.
Yes, we've spoken.
Yeah.
All right, good. And also with us tonight we have Ben. Ben, you're with Hogan Transport, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you work now Hogan Transport. Here's a question that I've been wanting to know: does Hogan Transport also do car hauling, or is it just freight? Regular
No,
freight?
we do a variety of things. We do have a car hauling division.
That's what I
Um,
thought.
We do that.
You does Hogan Transport? I'll skip that question, but I wanna ask you, man. I'm dying to ask you a bunch of questions. All right, let's skip that. But you also know Larry, right?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So Larry, how do you know Tamara and Ben? Tell us more.
Well, actually, I met Ben finally this year at Matt's. I reached out to Ben, maybe about 2 years ago, I guess it been
I
something like
believe
that.
that. Yeah. Been
Yeah,
about 2 years.
about 2 years ago because I wanted to help the men and women with their health coverage, and I was calling around asking, hey, do you have, you know, company drivers or owner operators, and if you have owner operators, you provide some type of health coverage. And so Ben and I started talking, and he asked me to send him some information, and I did, and he starts sending me people, and I've been trying to do my very best to offer them coverage.
That's awesome. And Tamara and Ben, how if one of you would jump in
Oh,
and yeah, um, say more about I don't know. You guys had questions, right? Was Larry good at answering your questions?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, he was. He
Absolutely.
answered all of them.
Um. So all right. So in the arena, because I know that in the live chat, it's tough to dive into topics like this. So this is challenging. I know it can be. So let's do this. I'm gonna go with another question I've got. How about this? What are some common misconceptions about health insurance? I think we've touched upon some. As far as, I mean, I guess the biggest one is I don't need it. Right? There's a misconception. I don't need health insurance. And then you answer that saying that, well, it's not about you, it's about those around you.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's not affordable.
That's,
that's one of the main things. It's not affordable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But when you find out somebody doesn't have health, and here's a question for you, Tamara and Ben. When you find out somebody you work with, that you work with on a daily basis, you know this person, then you find out they don't have health insurance. What? That's kind of shocking in that moment, isn't it? It's concerning, isn't it?
Well, it
is.
It is, but it's a lot of people in the industry that don't have insurance, again, because it's not and it's not affordable. I don't know how it is for Ben, but the thing is, once you do step out of being a company driver where it's not a group plan anymore, it becomes very costly unless you have a mate or someone that can add you on to that insurance. So like me, for instance, I get quotes for like $300, $400, sometimes $500 a month. And I think I'm a very healthy person, but I was told the rates are because of your age. So
yeah, and it's higher, slightly higher for women, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, how it's set up for like for the female. This is actuaries talking.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of the females had complication pretty much when they're young, but it's amazing. The rates drop right around about 55.
Really?
And yeah, and so the men's rates increase because a lot of men's over 50 or 55, their rates increase because that's when they start having a lot of complications. It's crazy. It's crazy, but those actuaries, they know things.
I'm glad you said that word again. I'm a big fan of like terms and definitions. So, if anybody listening doesn't know what an actuary is, we're talking about actuarial tables, which are based on historical data, which forecasts the cost that an insurance company needs to charge for a product or service to cover what could really happen on the outside if, I mean, it's like a bank knowing that they got to keep a certain amount of money. That insurance company has to charge a certain amount based on historical data so that they don't go bankrupt and now nobody's got coverage, essentially. I think that's close.
Great.
Okay.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you. Actuarial table data is it's kind of fascinating when you're talking to somebody that can show you actuarial tables. It's very interesting that this data is very historical and comprehensive. And actually, right, when you add inflation, you were talking about the good old days. As we move forward, knowing you've got inflation coming, that's why one of the reasons the rates do keep going up. They're not going to stop going up. It's kind of a bump. So you add inflation to the future, plus, as a man, I know that my rate's just going to keep going up.
Yep.
That's not a fun prospect.
No. I always tell everyone, I said, look at it this way. A brand new car, if you take a brand new, take a brand new Mustang today, and you take a classic Mustang, Cobra, and you restore it, that restored Mustang, that old Mustang, gonna cost a lot more because it's been restored and everything. It gonna have a lot more value, especially if it's limited edition. So, it's just one of those things. A new car, their parts are good. It's rare if something goes wrong with it. Whereas an older car, well, things have a tendency to leak and break down and so forth. So,
right. So
younger,
to keep that collector car going,
Yeah.
there are going to be more parts and maintenance
Correct. Yeah.
akin to health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
now, She Trucking and Hogan Transport, my guess is you've got different types of businesses there. She Trucking, is that what size business do you have? Is that a small business, mid-sized business?
Well, well, what it is that She Trucking is more or less an
It's an
organization
organization.
for women.
Okay.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a trucking company.
Okay.
It is an organization full of truck drivers,
Okay.
but women.
So and you're so right when you as a driver, do you work for a large company, Tamara?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I pull for Landstar.
Okay. And Ben, Hogan's a large company also.
Pretty good size. We run about 1,500 trucks, a little better,
Right.
company wide.
I'm guessing Landstar's in that neighborhood, maybe just below, something like that.
Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Wow. By the way, so just so at the high end, some of these larger trucking companies, how many trucks are we talking? Thousands?
I I would say thousands.
Thousands.
Definitely.
So, what kind of health insurance coverage do you think they have in like in these large fleets? Does anybody know?
Wow. Put it like
But
this. There's a one of the gentlemen, I mean to cut you guys off, but there's a gentleman in Georgia. He recently called me. He has 60 trucks. 60 trucks. What do you say? No, 60 drivers. 60 drivers. And that's not including, he said, the staff. And he's paying 100 and was it 100 and oh god, $143,000 a month.
Wow, for 60 60
Yeah.
drivers.
Mm-hmm. So you do the math on
Man,
that.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to. That sounds. So I mean, if you're at that level,
Yeah.
you're looking for a healthy discount, and
Right.
you're probably also. Am I wrong on this, Ben and Tamara? That you're probably utilizing some of the drug consortium discount. There must be things that you can do, right? Incentives, and also using technology to lower some of that rate as much as possible.
sure. I mean, you got a lot of apps that
Right.
do help you out with these things. But again, by us being a 100% owner operator company, we have to go out and find our own individual insurance. We have no insurance option.
Interesting. So,
Mhm.
what's that journey like for folks? I guess they, yeah, right. This
Yeah.
is this is why Larry is such a good friend, right?
Sure, sure.
I mean, just call
And
Larry.
Actually, no,
one of the questions I had asked Larry, had he start tackling the issue with getting in with some of these companies because, you know, um, even though we decided to go and get trucks and become contractors, I mean, we still need insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Tamara, you mentioned once before that sometimes some of the drivers, many find drivers in their cab passed away.
Of
Uh,
course, yes.
and
As a matter of fact, here lately, I'm gonna say not here lately, but because of social media, the word gets out more faster than it ever has before, and it seems like just about maybe once a week or every couple of weeks, you do hear that somebody has passed away in their cab.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I'd
Yeah.
say
Because
once a week. I would say.
yeah. Yeah. Because I saw this morning when I was posting, there was a guy 51 years of age outside of South Dakota. Is it Rap City? Rap,
Could be.
I think, yeah, South Dakota. They found passed away in his cab. And the sad part is, a lot of the men and women, like Ben and Tamara is saying, yeah, sometimes the coverage is based upon your health and your age, and it can be expensive. And a lot of people decide to go without health coverage. And the sad part is, if they go, I mean, I don't know how the DOTs work, but I don't know how in depth they are when they do the yearly exam. But preventative care is very, very important, because you could catch certain things before things happen. And this gentleman right here could have just had a, it didn't go in detail what he died of, but he could have had high blood pressure, and yet I'm good, but yet I'm healthy. I never go to the doctor, and his blood pressure could have gone up, and he could have had a heart attack or a stroke. And that's the sad part about it.
It's actually a really good point. I mean, we hadn't even talked about that, but I think we all, throughout time, we find out something that we have to monitor, whether it's cholesterol or blood pressure, and without that knowledge or some way to, check it periodically, yeah, that can become a big problem.
Yeah,
Way bigger than it needed to be.
yeah. I just like to give Ben. Ben is one of probably about four companies that open their arms, you could say, and let me come in and try to help some of the men and women. A lot of the companies, like Hogan, or about the size of Hogan, or maybe a little bigger, they're afraid to, well, I don't want to be responsible. Well, you're not responsible. I even stated that with Ben. I said, you guys will have no responsibility, because you're just saying, if you want health insurance, you could contact Larry, and that's all they have to say. So I just like to give a shout out to Hogan for and Ben for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, thanks.
That is cool. That's gotta be tough, right? You're in a larger trucking company, and there's all kinds of different pressures in many directions and concerns. And so, I mean, just to even talk about it, just to
Yeah.
even join me tonight on a live YouTube show,
Right.
and just spend time talking about this topic, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It is an important topic. It's not the most fun topic,
Oh no.
but right, but it really, it's one of those things that, given the moment, can suddenly become the number one topic.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. It needs to be something that's really on the top of people's list and concern. I mean, because going back to the question of asking, what is it that the DOT is looking for? I mean, outside of checking to see if your high blood pressure, checking the measurement of your neck, and some people have to do the sleep apnea. I mean, I don't really think they go that much more in depth as far as that is concerned. I think it just kind of sort of stays on the surface, if you would, and that's about it. And outside of drug tests and stuff like that, when it's time for us to do them, but it just kind of sort of stays at that.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because on the one hand, this is the kind of contrast that get me a little fired up. Is, on the one hand, we're so worried about any drug use at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
and I was just saying the other day, Starbucks, that coffee, I think, is a drug, by the way. Um, so we're so worried about all this drug use, but we're just not that focused on people's health. That's pretty crazy.
That's true.
That
And,
is
and that is true.
crazy, right? Wouldn't that be nice to pull into the scales, and they say pull around back, driver, and then they say, how do you feel? Let's get you out of the truck. Let's go for a walk, driver. Let's do some push-ups, driver.
Wow.
That'd be amazing. It's not gonna happen,
Nope.
but
Nope. Because how's the truck doing? That's it.
how's the truck doing? That's right.
Yep.
How's the truck doing? So, and I like on Facebook when I see guys, like, they've laid out a carpet and they got some weights and stuff, That actually
Sure.
inspires me. I'm like, man, at least I should put down the Twinkie and go walk around the block. That's the
Yeah.
least I
Right.
can do.
I mean, we should. We definitely should utilize that 30-minute break a little bit more than some of us do. I mean, I'll be the first to say I sometimes utilize it the right way, sometimes, but most of the time I don't, and I should.
Um,
Yeah.
in fact, I've seen on Facebook people posted, can we get something other than like a sub sandwich and fried chicken at the truck stop?
Yeah, because that's what's taken over. Even with the petros and the TAs and stuff. Even though I would say the food wasn't that good, but it was a better choice. And you could at least sit down to a decent meal. But now they're taking those out of the truck stops, and all you're seeing is Popeye's chicken and McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Papa John's, and it's like, okay,
Wow.
Yeah.
where's the food? So, I mean, unless you're on the West Coast, and I will say sometimes on the West Coast, you're able to get some better options. But if you're back over here on the East Coast, everything that's east of I-35, you can kind of sort of forget it. It's fast food.
You just made me think. Hey, Larry, have you been into the cooking groups? There's trucking cooking groups
No, I have not.
because
No.
these are people focused on health to some degree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder if there's any leeway there. I mean, it's interesting because it is neat isn't it neat, Tamara and Ben, to see pictures of people cooking in their trucks and they're really trying to
Oh
be
yeah,
healthy. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's and
There's
that
there's a lot of them that do that.
that's
yeah.
there is a lot, and that's hard work.
It
Takes
is
planning.
It really
Got
does.
planning.
definitely.
Yeah.
And that Walmart we can go in, right, Ben?
That's right.
So,
But I don't think puts a pizza in the microwave is home cooking.
right.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it takes work. Well, and if you want to to keep fresh produce and then to prepare it, I mean, half your 30-minute break's over by the time you prepare your salad,
That's true.
Correct?
Yeah.
and then it takes another 15 to eat it, and then you're starving 2 hours later.
Correct?
Pretty much.
That's true.
Pretty much. Oh man.
Eating healthy is tough, man. So,
Yeah. I
let's
just emailed you a pic
okay. What we
from
got here?
last year, um, and you could throw it on screen.
Okay.
I know at this year Great American Truck Show, GATS, here in Dallas. I'm trying to get this young lady. Her name is Janet Childs. Um, I was like about 260, and I'm only like what 5'11" roughly. I want to say 6 foot, but that's only in. But yeah, I was like 260, and I just let myself go. Um, and Janet Childs, she just told me it's the mindset, and it's called Otavia. Um, I lost 32 pounds in 3 months, and then I lost, and then that's not in. I didn't work out for those 3 months. Only thing I did was drink a lot of water and watch what I ate,
Oh wow.
and yeah, and so
Wow.
I told her, I said, one of the biggest issues I see in the trucker industry is high blood pressure, well, obesity, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. Um, I said, you can help so many men and women to change their lives. And so I'm going to do my very best to have her to come and be at my booth and talk to some of the men and women who are interested, because of the fact, um, yeah, because Janet was like 300 pounds herself, and she lost 120 pounds in 1 year.
Wow.
And like she said, yeah, like she said, it's a lifestyle choice. And to me, I got to a point. I was telling her, I said, here I was in college, ran track, played football. After graduating, being a dad, still stayed in. My youngest son, he's a sophomore in college. When he was a freshman and sophomore, he was. I remember his freshman year in high school. He was like, "Hey, Dad, the band moms are talking about you." I said, "Son, I haven't said anything to the moms." He said, "No, no, 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 Dad. Band moms are talking about you." I said, "Oh, it's like that." And then all of a sudden by his senior year, I just stopped working out and gained a lot of weight. And he said, "Hey, Dad, we were looking for each other." And it was funny. He's like, "Man, you were talking to each other on the phone." He said, "Where are you?" I said, "Dude, I'm right in front of you. You don't see me?" And he said, "No." I said, I waved my hand, and he just walked over. He looked at me. It's like, "Huh?" I said, "What?" He said, "I'll tell you later." And so we got in the vehicle, and he said, "So you stopped working out, haven't you?" I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah." he said, "Now." He said, "Now you look like all the rest of the dads, man. Get back into the gym."
It's
So,
amazing. I've had your picture up on screen here for several minutes, and it is amazing.
yeah,
Um, and it's it's inspiring. It makes you think. I'm thinking about myself, and I guarantee, for people watching right now, they're thinking about themselves, and they're wondering, well, gosh, if he can do it, I can do it. It's pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah,
this is a great before and after.
yeah, yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, man. It was one of those lifestyle change when you can't bend over and tie your shoe.
Mm.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And let's face it, because I know the men and women put a lot of hours behind the wheel, and like Tamara was saying, it as well as Ben, there's not much out there. But if what Janet told me, I mean, she would just teach me certain things. I said, "Well, can I?" I said, "I like peanuts." She said, "Don't mess with the peanuts. Go with the walnuts. Go with the cashews, the healthy nuts." And I said, "Okay." And I used to always call her, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?"
Yeah.
You know, so she, like she said, sometimes you need to reward yourself for a job well done. Don't go
Mm.
overboard, just reward yourself. She said, it's a change of lifestyle, but you don't have to be strenuous about it. So, like I said, I told her she's coming with me to GATS, and she's going to change some lives. So,
That's awesome.
and
Awesome.
that,
It's powerful.
yeah, and that right there will help their health insurance as well, because I mean, there's some plans on it for an individual. If you like 5'11", 280, chances are your rate's going to go higher, and
Mhm.
then there's some chance you might qualify. So make a change, and not only making a change in your life, but you could show everybody around you, well, heck, if Larry could lose that weight, so can I. And you just start a rapid positive trend.
I
So
just started to mentally cycle through infomercials. Um, Solo Flex. What
yeah.
guy hasn't sat up all night watching Solo Flex commercials?
Mm.
Like,
Oh
come
yeah.
on, that cross trainer one.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah.
man, right?
Yeah.
There's about a million. There's a million ways to do it, but eating healthy, I think, is always part of the eating healthy and exercise part of the equation.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and plenty of rest.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Rest is key, man.
Yep.
Rest is key. Um, I know there's you were mentioning that you see a lot of drivers working out and so forth. That's good. That's good. I mean, that's getting the circulation going and so forth, because a lot of times, they, you know, you start having problems with your legs,
Right.
and your back. And so it's the more you could do for yourself, you're helping, not only you're helping yourself, but, uh, you know, you're kind of helping your loved ones, because you don't want to be all broke down, and when before you hit, I hate to say it, like retirement age of 65 or 67, wherever the retirement age, and you can't take care of yourself.
Hey, by the way, this is weird. I got a stream complete message on my screen, and I think for some reason, yep, I got a text here. Did I just lose the stream? And also got a chat and see how can we eat healthy foods. But for some reason, I think the stream ended. Now, stay with me, but I have a feeling that we're not online right now. Let's see here. Let's do this. Which that does not happen. Although the danger's always there.
We are live, man.
We are live.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so Kimberly says we're not live, and can anyone see me? I don't think they can. So we might be ending the show here real soon, which I don't see that being a problem. Shows live stream offline, and here's how I know is that
because I have it on my
I don't think you can tune in live right now. I think the show is offline.
Yeah, it's just locked right now. Oh yeah, it even say in the left corner, this stream is offline.
Okay, now a stream resumed.
There we go.
What?
Yeah.
Stream resumed? How weird, guys. And it just goes to show that. So what I've done is I'm actually I'm plugged directly into the router. Although what I did was I reactivated the Wi-Fi just in case.
Okay.
And I'm not sure I'm not sure what that was, but even in 2019, and this is a major supplier of fiber internet, and still I don't have the perfect connection. So I mean, go figure. Is it the user? This is a user error. I know it. I know it is. So let's do this. Since we had that hiccup, and I think I haven't seen any. Well, here was a question. Tom was just saying, how can we eat healthy foods on the road? It's kind of hard with all this junk food everywhere. Tamara, you were saying that. I mean, let's put an end cap on that. I mean, what can a driver do? What's realistic?
Okay, what's realistic if you can, and I mentioned being east of east of I-35, because the further east you go, southeast, northeast, getting into stores, doing any kind of shopping, unless you can go home and you live in that area, or you can get a Lyft or Uber to go shopping, it's kind of sort of non-existent now, because Walmart's are starting to kick us out now.
Yeah.
So, case in point, I'm from Georgia. So even some of the stores that are way down south in Georgia are starting to boot your truck. I'm talking about in very country towns, they're kicking you out of Walmart. So what I would say to that, when you're at home, and I know fruits and vegetables, they don't last, but maybe a week and a half, if that. I mean, do what you can do, and put what you can put in your truck. I mean, apples, they last a little bit. I mean, bananas and stuff like that. Just kind of change it up a little bit if you can. I mean, I always try to look for something green. I'm a rabbit. So I am that person that has to have a salad with every meal, no matter what I'm eating. I've got to have a vegetable.
I try to do things like, you can buy hummus.
Oh yeah.
I like carrots, cauliflower, hummus. That's at least headed in the right direction, and it's pretty quick.
Right. And I mean, that's a good snack.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not always filling, but still better than a bag of potato chips, and
Right. And
probably more filling too.
and you have to understand what the driver's saying. I mean, think about it. I mean, when you walk, I'll say when you walk into the Loves, say from the fuel island, okay, they have that cooler that's sitting there that has the fruits or either the vegetables in it. But as soon as you walk into the truck stop, to the right is the soda fountain, those funky hot dogs and the tequila, and back to the left, all the potato chips and the candy, and then back behind all the sodas. So or excuse me, and walk a little further on in, but back to the right before you get to the gas desk. That are all the fast foods back over in the right hand corner. So I mean, you got a little bit of the good stuff, but you got a whole lot of the bad stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta have a fridge.
You gotta have a fridge
so you can keep some of the good stuff. And
Yep.
And then what's a good way to do cooking? Like those skillets that you can plug in, right? Stuff like that. And
Yeah, the skillets, the lunch boxes. If you can stay away from the microwave, I know that it's easy, but if you can stay away from that, and find stuff that's kind of sort of easy. They got meals that are or meats and stuff that are in bags and stuff, and you can put it in that steamer and steam some of the meat instead of frying it and all that different stuff. Or if you have the opportunity, try to plan your trips around places where, say, there are restaurants. So there are some different choices than just what's in the truck stop.
yeah, that seems like that's a big part. Unfortunately, that's a big part of the message is just not to go get another biggie fry, biggie soda. Try and do something right. And the whole Walmart thing, I don't get it. Is there an easy way to explain what's going on there?
uh I mean, I'll say this,
I don't get
and the other driver on the line can contest or not, but I think it's because they're having to clean up after you in a way that's a little undesirable. It's that, and then sometimes people are all over the parking lot sometimes, and they're doing they're just sleeping and doing 10-hour breaks and stuff. So I guess, I mean, I'm just assuming, I don't know, but I guess Walmart is like, okay, you know what, the hell with y'all got to get out of here. So you can't even go in there now, and some of them, like I said, for even 10 minutes before they knock on your door and say, okay, if you don't move the truck, I'm gonna boot you, and that's $600.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about Walmart now, but like I said, I know for a fact everything that's east of I-35, that's the problem that we have until we come into Texas.
That is a
Texas
huge
is
part
a
of the
little bit-
country. East of
Yes, it
I-35?
is. But if you think about it, everything
Like half
that's
of the
east of
country.
I-35, that's right. And that-
I-35 runs through Kansas City. You're talking half of the country.
Yep.
That is amazing. And here's the thing is, and I've shared this on industry news, which I do in the beginning part of the show, where I've seen pictures that are posted inside of some of the refrigerator area in a Walmart, and there's a sign that says "Truckers not welcome, the management." Like, what? Are you kidding? I don't think it's a joke.
I used to think it was a joke, and I always thought it was up to the discretion of the manager to say, okay, yeah, it's not a problem. But I was always that driver. Even when I worked out in Nebraska, I would try to find the manager and just say, hey, is it okay for me to be here. Because again, by me being from Georgia,
Pretty
it's
cool.
definitely it's different in Atlanta trying to go into Walmart opposed to going to Walmart somewhere out in the Midwest, you know, and you're asking to come in because again, all the rules and the regulations, you know. So I mean, I don't know. I think and because it just becomes a truck stop.
Well, and I also can't help but think about, you know, and you hear this talked about occasionally, just the way society treats truckers in general.
Oh,
I
sure,
mean, it's
sure.
just
Yeah.
really, it is, it seems like we do need to be reminded that everything got there on a truck, and it would be a good PSA on a regular basis. I think we all just need to be reminded. I know that I'm more courteous now that I'm either reminded or the fact that I work with drivers, but I used to be one of the regular people that didn't get it. I was there, and now that I realize how important drivers are, you know,
Right.
we should all be reminded of that. It's not just, who's got not just the new iPhone users are worthy. In fact, there might be a direct correlation to new iPhone users and less worthy in some occasions. But that's, for another, and so if you have a brand new iPhone, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that,
Nope.
what.
Google over here. So nope, no iPhone.
Well, I don't have one either. Probably, in fact, I'll bet you if you took a poll of drivers with new iPhones, I'm gonna guess that's a minority percentage because
Those are the rich drivers.
right. Exactly. Everybody at Falcon had one, so that's what happened.
Oh wow.
No, that's a joke, but that's
I get it.
that's what I'm here for. So,
Right.
eating healthy and
Yeah.
maybe somebody, wouldn't it be cool if somebody, if a food chain, maybe like Chick-fil-A. What if Chick-fil-A became a staple in truck stops instead of fried chicken? It's still chicken, right?
Yeah, but we never get in there for the public. We never get in there for anybody else coming in there, and that's the next thing. We never get in there. That's always a huge problem. Everybody else takes over the truck stop. So no, we never get in there. You got a truck stop that has a Starbucks. It's usually not the truck drivers, it's the people from outside, which okay, yeah, they should be allowed also too, but it's like we don't have anything that's exclusively to us or for us anymore.
Right.
It's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
And you're right. If there's a Starbucks at a truck stop, you can't get in there.
That's true.
That is a very interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a business opportunity. Somebody will have to figure that out. Like healthy truck food by drone.
And there is a truck stop. There's a pilot down off of I-10 in Louisiana that actually has a Moe's. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's like a little Mexican franchise, but it had decent food when it first started out. But now, as it's become what I want to say, throwing up the parentheses, it has become chainy now. It's just garbage now.
Wow.
At first it was fresh food, but now it's just garbage. And that's another thing when we get those things in the truck stop, but then we get people who, and again, I'm not trying to be funny, but these are just the facts. When we get people in the truck stops who don't even like their jobs to begin with, and then when they serve us our food, it looks like slop. So I mean, that's another one of those things.
Oh
so.
man, oh man.
I'm just saying.
No, it's so true. I mean, it really, it's. I can't remember what I was doing, and the server at the location seemed to be working extra hard just to be miserable.
Right.
And yeah, I know. And if you think about think about trying to exercise at some rest stops. No way. You know, like,
No way.
get me out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. Well, maybe, gosh, maybe something will change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the probably the best choice right now maybe Denny's.
Right.
And I guess
Denny's.
on a good day when they got all their condiments in. So we can get a good meal, you know. So,
When they got all the condiments. Penny says in Texas there's
yeah.
Buc-ee's that doesn't allow
Oh
drinks.
yeah.
Buc-ee's? What's
Yeah.
Buc-ee's?
Oh, Bucky's is a big gas station chain, but they do not allow trucks. As a matter of fact, they just opened up a new one in Alabama on the Alabama and Florida line on
Yeah.
I-10. It's
That,
huge, but
that's
no, they do
Yeah.
not allow trucks at all.
Well, it's certain locations they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, certain locations in Texas they do. I know, like where I'm at in Fort Worth, near the racetrack. Yeah, they allow
Hmm.
trucks.
Oh, okay.
There's certain locations is dedicated to for truckers, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, you're right. But yeah, Bucky's is by far. Yeah, because the one in Alabama / Florida in Destin, I always butcher that name. Is it Det Destry?
Destin, Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Destin.
because
In the Panhandle.
because
Yeah.
because a lot of Texas people go there on vacation.
Okay.
The only reason they place that's the only one outside of the state of Texas. That's the only one. Yeah. There are people like, for instance, if they open, I grew up in a small town, and it's crazy. They built one 25 miles away, and that was the biggest thing. There's a Bucky 25 miles away. And so, yeah, it's a big thing in Texas. Penny is right. It's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the little things that sometimes make us happy in the middle of our
Yeah.
journey. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, Jeremy, I'll check my email after the show and probably get back to you tomorrow. In fact, speaking of contact information, so
Yeah.
Larry, how do people contact you? What's the best way?
Well, they could give me a call.
Okay, what's your number? What's a good number?
972-217-0987. Or they
972-217-0987. Okay.
Yeah, or they could go on my Facebook page, health insurance helper, or they could contact me on LinkedIn, Larry Blackmon, or go on YouTube, same thing, health insurance helper.
I'm going to share this. So let's do this. Because I pulled up your social media before the show. So let's do, let's go to. So if you want to contact Larry, okay, so you go to Facebook and you are the health insurance helper on Facebook. Okay. And you've got also on YouTube the health insurance helper, as well as Lawrence Blackmon on YouTube. Right? Okay, so both of those. And then you've got on Instagram HIH page.
Correct.
On Instagram, and then also on Twitter, Helper Insurance.
Correct.
All right, cool. And I posted your phone number in the live chat. What if can somebody email you? Is there a good way? Or just call you?
Yeah, it's best to call.
All right,
be honest. Yeah.
Call or go to the Facebook page, because Facebook is popular, and go to the Health Insurance Helper, and you can message or chat there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So there's the information. Let's see here. I want to mention this. So Tamara if somebody wants to learn more about She Trucking, what's a good way to do that?
Sure. You can do it by going to shetrucking.com. And that's going to be www.shetrucking.com.
All right, so I just typed it into Google, shetrucking.com. Cool.
Yep.
Based out of Chattanooga.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. And you can learn information there. You're also on social media, and there's a video and information. Excellent. So, did I leave out anybody and their contact information, or did I cover it?
Ben,
Ben,
they're looking for a driver.
Okay, there we go.
I'm always looking for a good driver.
All right. So, if that's the case, if somebody is a good driver, what's a good way for them to get a hold of you? What can they do?
They can call me direct at 314-813-2761, or they can visit driveforhogan.com, and that's the number 4.
Okay, and that was driveforhogan.com?
Correct.
Driveforhogan.com. Okay, cool. And I put your phone number in the live chat. No, let's see. Drive for, oh wait, is it the number 4?
Correct. The word drive, the number 4, the word Hogan.
Driveforhogan.com. There we go.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Okay, there it is. Cool. There's a video you can watch. There's a Recruiter 800 number. Hi, guys. Are there any other good boards other than Central? I'll answer that in a minute here in the wrap-up. So, you know, Larry, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. What is really neat is that we met at Matt's. Just another, you know, random conversation meeting led to, you know, we stayed in touch with each other. Now you're on the show tonight. Now we're bringing in Tamara and Ben. It's really pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, a couple years ago, I mean, like I said, Ben opened the door for me. Tamara and Sheree Moore, they have done the same thing for me as well. And I'm really, really appreciative of both of them for doing so, because the men and women out there driving, they really do need health coverage. And I like to reiterate and just say this. A lot of the men and women really don't know what they have. They will say, I'm good. I have a certain color. I ain't gonna mention the name of the company, but it's a certain color. I'm good. But they don't know if it's an HMO plan. If they leave their home state, they're out of network. And so what I like to work with is a PPO, which give them a nationwide coverage. So, and more importantly, I will be their agent. So if they have any question whatsoever, they could call me directly.
Cool.
I work. Yeah.
And that number, again, is 972-217-0987. If you got a question, any question in that health insurance related, you'll talk, and then you can set up a time to talk more, and maybe end up on a Tango Tuesday.
Yep. You never know. That's how I met Sheree Moore of She Trucking, because she was at GATS last year, and I was doing a live feed because I had a segment called the 1 o'clock plug, and so I was plugging people business. And I said, hey, I just like She Trucking. What's She Trucking? And she explained all of that. I said, I'm gonna be back over here at 1 o'clock. We're gonna do a live feed. And since then, she introduced me to Tamara, and everything just kind of take off from there. Yeah.
That's awesome. And She Trucking is a great name. It's very very catchy, easy to remember. That's cool. Very cool. Here's one. How long can you use the Cobra after you leave a big company? It's funny. I almost said Cooper
months.
earlier. How many is it?
Yeah.
18?
18 months. 18 is the max. It all depends on how much your Cobra plan costs, because sometimes you pay twice as much.
I would just say Cobra's expensive, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Is that kind of a
Absolutely.
last resort because you've left a company and you're in
Correct.
between and you need some kind of coverage, but it's expensive.
That is correct. Yeah, but they have 18 months.
Okay. So there
Yeah.
you go, Tom. 18 months. So, and listen, if anybody has any further questions, what we'll do is you want to go ahead and if you missed the live chat and you're watching this afterwards, you can leave your comments below the video, and I will make sure I let Larry know if there's a question specific that he can answer, or something for Tamara or Ben, then I will let them know as well. And you've got contact information. Visit shetrucking.com. You can also visit, I'm going to post it here, drive4hogan.com, and you can get in touch with Ben and find out more about their driver recruitment. Listen, I really want to thank you guys for joining me on the show tonight. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Oh,
thank
problem.
you.
It was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. It's really good stuff, and we got the contact information. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to let you go. Have a good evening, and thanks for joining us.
All right.
right.
Good night.
Good night, you guys. Good night, Larry. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye now.
All right, see ya. All right, and so that is the end of another segment of the live interview and panel discussion. Let's do this. I'm going to switch my camera back so I can properly say goodbye, because I like to do that kind of thing in high definition. So listen, and here's there's the She Trucking website again. You're welcome, Tom. Thank you for the questions and the participation. Listen, you guys, you know that. Oh, let me do this too here. You know that I'm here every Tuesday night, and this was live show 87 in a row, live on Tuesday nights, live on Auto Transport Intel, the car hauling business channel. And if you have a question, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. autotransportintel@gmail.com. Send me an email. Give me your contact info. If you're a new car shipper or you're a carrier looking for business advice, you're a broker and you want to reach out to the community, lead generator, insurance agent, you sell trucks, you've got trailers or other equipment, services, you want to talk about your company product, you got a load board, you got a mobile app, you're a fleet and you want to reach out and recruit some drivers, or just get an updated message out to the community. Auto Transport Intel is the car hauling business channel. Don't let the analytics fool you. I know that they're a little lower than, listen, if I know there's trailer videos and whatnot getting higher views. Believe me, I see it too. But don't let that fool you. There isn't anybody else right now in the auto transport industry talking about the entire ecosystem. Talking about the business of not just one category of us, but the entire enchilada. You're going to find that on Auto Transport Intel. It's going to stay that way, and there's going to be some new folks coming in to give you some information that you didn't have before, and I'm really excited about. I had an interview lined up. I had an interview live panel lined up for next Tuesday. That actually changed, so I don't even know what we're doing next Tuesday, and it's okay. We're in this together. It's a live show. It's Tuesday nights live. Listen, I'm Jay at Auto Transport Intel. I'm going to sign out. If you didn't already hit the like button, please do. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to never miss a video. I'll see you guys next week. You guys take care. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you then. Peace out. Yeah, make sure you watch my video, Top 5 Car Hauling Load Boards. I'll post the link.